Lighten things up. Sunlight and laughter. That's what cures most fears and worries. Terrifying problems are better solved in the light than in the dark. And there are many ways to bring them into the light. Pick a frightening problem. Then do the following: talk about it with someone, draw an illustrated map of it on a huge piece of paper. Make top 10 lists about the problem, tell yourself some jokes about the problem, sing about the problem, and, finally, dance a dance that expresses the problem. If you do all these things, I promise you that your problem will seem a lot funnier and less frightening than it once did. It is impossible to laugh deeply and be frightened at the same time. G_K Chesterton used to say that taking things lightly was the most spiritually advanced thing you could do to improve your effectiveness in life. After all, said Chesterton, it's because God's angels take themselves so lightly that they are able to fly. And if His angels take themselves that lightly, imagine how much more lightly He takes Himself. My friend Fred Knipe is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning television writer who also performs as a comedian in the character of D_M_F_Ludiker, world expert on everything. Fred is one of the funniest human beings I have ever known. He never fails to lighten me up, no matter how big the problem I have. Dr_Ludiker mounts the stage and puts his ludicrous Ludiker Institute logo in front of the podium, a logo that features a cartoon human brain hanging between two electrical towers. He then proceeds to give, in a mild Teutonic accent, his advice from hell. With the increase in domestic violence, the doctor says, I am advocating that home appliance manufacturers begin installing airbags. On the subject of our growing intolerance of crime, he says, criminals, among the most deeply tense in our communities. We'll soon have trouble recruiting top people because they can no longer escape the sense that there is resentment building about what they do for a living. It was inevitable, he observes, that genetic engineering would come from a generation that played Mr. Potato Head. Knipe's editing of my writing also causes me to lighten up. While making helpful handwritten notes on the manuscript for this book, he recommended that I refer to the Lakota shaman lame deer as super shaman lame deer. While going through my recovery from a frightening disease that featured, at one point, uncontrolled bleeding, he left me a comforting phone message that said, "Don't worry about the bleeding. It's normal for someone your age." Fred shares my long-held belief that humor is the highest form of creativity. It's the hardest to produce and the most enjoyable to receive. Humor, like all other creativity, is a matter of making unusual combinations. The more surprising the combination, the funnier the humor. Your own motivational level will always be lifted by humor. Anytime you are stuck, ask yourself to take things lightly. Ask yourself to come up with some funny solutions. Laughter will destroy all limits to your thinking. When you are laughing, you are open to anything. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.